So the story of the Tryst really is a story of revival. In 2015, I started this organization called Suits and Sneakers. And although we had many lofty goals and ideas at the time, the overarching mission was to create a platform where people could become better versions of themselves. I have always been a product of informal learning. Thanks to the internet, you can learn anything, anywhere, anytime, and at virtually no cost. So I wanted to show other people how to hack the system of value creation, acquire new skills, and use the system of informal learning to change their lives. So at the heart and soul of Suits and Sneakers were these really cool informal learning events that we created, first locally in Gauteng in South Africa, and then nationally, and then even internationally for a bit. And the idea was that we would bring together these very cool thought leaders who would speak on fairly abstract but very relevant topics, and I would gather the right audience together, an audience that was hungry to learn, and we would do it in this very cool, abstract way. I really do believe when I look back that we added this almost icy coolness to adult learning. And so this is something that we ran for a number of years. We grew a little bit every year, and then at the beginning of 2020, COVID hit, and it entirely destroyed our then business model, our revenue stream, and even the other part that kept me alive, which was public speaking. Really, at the time, it felt like our whole world had ended. But after taking a few weeks to gather ourselves, my little team and I, we set up this small video studio inside of WeWork. And this happened because we had messed around with a few paid-for webinars, but the quality was absolutely terrible. And I just knew, coming from a marketing and advertising background, that how it looked mattered in this world. And so I called an old friend of mine up. We set up this small video studio, and without meaning to, we created an entirely new business model. Really, what started to happen was, as we created our own pieces of content, old clients, people I knew along the way, started to call me and ask me, would we help them to do the same? So fast forward a few months, things have settled down. We're figuring out how to keep ourselves alive with this new business model. And I decide maybe it's time to move into our own space. Something a little bit bigger, maybe something that we can customize a little bit more. And so I started looking on the internet for maybe something that was 200 or 300 square meters max. But wouldn't you know it, as fate would have it, I stumbled upon this 1,250 square meter space that would ultimately become known as the Tryst. So here's how the Tryst can help you. Our product and service offering starts with our smaller video studio, which is the one I'm in right now. It is near perfect for 1 or 2 man webinars, 1 or 2 man interviews, training videos, etc. We then have a bigger video studio. This gives us the ability to host much more elaborate webinars, panel discussions, really elaborate interviews, and in fact we have a setup where there is 2 or 3 backgrounds and we can shift and move accordingly. It's just a bigger video studio, even with the ability to have a small audience inside of it. And then the ultimate offering that we have at the Tryst is our beautiful hybrid eventing space. Like I said, this gives you multiple opportunities to host any type of event. Either an event where it's solely meant for in-person, we can shift it and change it whichever way you want. We can help from start to finish with the AV, with the production, with the actual architecture of the event. We can go the total other way, where we host virtual style only events. And again, we can help from start to finish. We could get speakers for you. We could help build it with you. We could shape it whichever way you want. We work with several AV companies that can really help us get that look and feel down to an absolute T. But I think the crowning glory really comes in the form of hybrid eventing. It is where you literally create whatever event you want with a small audience, like I said, from 20 to 200 people. And then we capture that with multiple camera angles, and we either pre-record or beam that out to the masses. I think the thing you've got to know that's most important about us is that we absolutely love what we do. We work really hard to be the best at what we do, and we're always trying to use our own space to create magic. We called this place the Tryst because there is something about the creators and audiences coming together where you enter into a pact with each other that you will create with love, with romance, and with passion. And we do this so naturally and easily. So really, if there is any way that we can help you here at the Tryst, we'd love to give you a shot, get a better understanding of what it is that your needs are, and then create accordingly, but with love, with passion, and with romance.